Welcome to Eric and Horror Stories. This week, we're practicing with this little thing right here. We're going to start off right now seeing how well this thing works. Spirit World, is my YouTube show good? Ouija, yo, Ouija. So yeah, this week I'm gonna get mystical on your ass. And that's different than mystical. Shake your ass. Watch yourself. Shake your ass. Show me what you're working with. I get whiter and whiter by the week. This week we talk about the spirit board, the talking board, or as it's more commonly known, either the Ouija board or the Ouija board. Now, there's actually a discrepancy and, conundrum and flimflammery about how to pronounce the name of this thing, but I believe, really, it's supposed to be Weejah. I did look up several YouTube pronunciation videos, and there's both on there. Although I think the prevailing wisdom is that it's Weejah. But in the South, there's Ouija board. Can we play with that Ouija board? And this is a modern Ouija board, which most of them have the numbers 0 through 9, 1 through 0, however this is worded, A through Z, yes, no, and often hello, goodbye. This one only says goodbye, so I don't know why you say goodbye. They don't say hello. No hello, hello. Coming soon, episode on black cats. It's actually going to be pretty fascinating. Now get out of here. So, yeah, it's the Ouija board. Well, you can't just use the board. You need this, too. This is the planchette, planchetta. And this is how you divine the messages right here, how you decode the spirit world messages. You slap this sucker on the board, and then it moves around to what the message is from the spirit world. Now, Weejah is actually a trademark of Hasbro and basically has become the ubiquitous name for spirit/talking boards, although it's really just a specific name somebody invented along the way, and it's kind of become like Coke, where all soft drinks are Coke. All talking/spirit boards are now Ouija boards, although that's not necessarily true. So let's get into the origins of the Ouija board. They date back until around the 1100s in China when they had an auto-writing talking board. So they've been around in some form or fashion for a long time. However, it's following the Civil War that they really got popular. Spiritualists believed the dead could contact the living through these, which is pretty much the premise of the Ouija board, and man, those folks did big business after the Civil War, getting readings from beyond. The boards were first commercially sold when businessman Elijah Bond, who was an inventor with many other patents, started commercially selling these, and it's somewhere along the way there. And there's some discrepancy in this story when the board actually became named a Ouija board. But first sold in around 1890, was known as a parlor/fun/goof game to, entertain folks at a party or whatever. Wasn't really taken seriously until spiritualist Pearl Curran popularized legitimate use during World War I. Now, the Ouija board's a pretty controversial thing, really, in the scheme of things, depending on what you believe. Scientists have studied it throughout time, and of course they've criticized that the actions on the board are not being guided by something else. Sometimes they're guided intentionally by somebody trying to have some fun, or maybe even things that are on somebody's mind unconsciously affect where the planchette goes, is the prevailing opinion of the scientific committee. Of course, Christians didn't like this because this could be, what is this thing? It's demons inside here if it's really giving messages. That's not cool. So these things have kind of been denounced by religion over time. And of course, there's occultists who say this thing's the real deal and should not be used by a layperson who doesn't know what they're doing. Couple fun facts about the Ouija board. There's a couple different origins, really, for the name of the board, where it came from. One is that it came from using the board, and that's where it's spelled out Ouija, which is also supposedly Egyptian for good luck. However, the more prevailing opinion is that it's a combination of the French and German words "oui" and "ja." Also, once these became popular, just like many things over time, there were all these competing versions that got out there and diluted the market. So there were Ouija boards and spirit boards and talking boards everywhere. And Ouija boards have been around a long time, as we discussed. They're still around. You can still round these things up. I don't know how much they're used anymore. There still are some in pop culture. They've been in movies over time. What Lies Beneath, Paranormal Activity, and the ridiculously god-awful Weejah movie, which I rented from Redbox, watched a few minutes of, put it right back in the sleeve, and took it immediately back to Redbox. Listen, it was $2. I don't have to sit through the whole thing. Maybe it ended up being good. Did it? No. Anyway, Ouija board. It's always been kind of a freaky thing, especially when you're young. You hear things about it, and you're like, ooh, it's like something forbidden to play with. When I was young, I never actually had access or friends or anybody would talk to me with a Ouija board, but it was always kind of scary to think about. It's like, ooh, contacting the dead or spirits. I don't know about all that. Kind of like saying Bloody Mary in a mirror, and maybe we'll do a Bloody Mary episode in the future. Maybe I'll have a Bloody Mary while I do an episode about Bloody Mary. Just kidding, tomato juice is gross! If you don't believe my opinion on tomato juice, you're wrong. That's my disclaimer. And that disclaimer also applies for in a minute, where I discuss my opinion about Ouija boards. Like I said, when I was young, I found it kind of frightening and scary, and what if it could really contact the dead? I'm afraid I just don't buy it. I mean, I think it's cool. It is kind of fun as a parlor game, I think. It is a good setup for scary things and mystical things and fun things. I think it's really a pretty fun item. Is it occult and of the dead? No, I really don't think so. I mean, if it moved by itself without people manipulating it, that's one thing, but somebody doing a trick in front of you, it's con artistry, in my opinion. It's not legitimate, but it is fun. If you are a firm believer in Ouija boards out there, then you know what? Then curse me, hex me. I don't know if you could do that with one of these things, but I'm not poo-pooing on you. It's just my personal beliefs on these. Ouija boards, fun, freaky, not real. Next week on Eric and Horror Stories, I don't know if it's going to be the Black Cat episode or not. I had something else planned and written out, and I can't find some of the stuff I need for it, so I may go ahead and do the Black Cat episode, or maybe it'll be something else. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see which one you want to do. When the Ouija board say I should get ready. Oh, he's being sweet. So tune in next week. You don't know what you're going to see. Are you going to have fun? Yes. This has been Eric. Bye-bye. A couple more fun facts about the Ouija board is that I can't remember even a couple fucking fun facts. With the old mother, with the old brother, staying alive, staying alive. Man, who doesn't love the Ouijies?